I'm Susan Mayginnes, and this is Burke Franklin.
Hi.
And we're here to talk to you about Marriage 2.0 and tell you some things about what you can expect from the program. You're probably watching this video because you're somebody who wants to get married.
Or is thinking about getting married, or just plain scared to death of getting married, but you think, I'd love to get married, but how do I get there from here?
Right. And of course, if you want to get married, then you also want your marriage to be a success. And you probably are well aware of the fact that there's a 60% divorce rate, and then of course the people who stay in marriages who aren't divorced, there's probably a large percentage of people who are staying in marriages that they're not particularly happy in. And then there's people who are staying in marriages who are happy in it. So what is that? Like, how do you create a marriage in which you are going to be really happy, in which you're going to be having what it is that you want?
I know for myself, with a 60% odds against marriage succeeding, I wouldn't get on an airplane that has a 60% chance of crashing. I mean, 60% chance of crashing and burning, are you kidding me?
Right.
But nevertheless,
you want to make your odds better than that.
Right.
Absolutely.
I think you can do it.
Yes. So Marriage 2.0 is a way for you to begin to look at what is it that I want in a relationship. And this is a very unique question at this particular time in history, because it's a question that nobody's asked before. I mean, marriage comes out of a traditional institution in which things were done and are done a particular way. And although marriage has changed in many ways over the centuries, there are still a lot of traditions and a lot of assumptions that people go into marriages operating out of, including the marriages that you witnessed growing up as a kid. You watched your parents growing up and their marriage, and then you get a partner, and she witnessed the way that marriage happened in her family. So you're coming together with different ideas of marriages, and what we need to do is we need to be able to have a conversation about what is a marriage that's going to work for us, for our lives, for the lives that we want to create for ourselves, and for partnering together.
And can I experience some freedom in this marriage? Can I be in love with you and still feel like I have my own life, my own self? Do I have to give stuff up? What do I have to give up, if there's a have to in that? Or, there's just so many moving parts in a marriage that or in any relationship that makes it work. There's some parts that are going to cause some friction. And so how do we work with the parts? There are friction parts. How do you work with that? And how do you, get what you want? How do you have it be fun? I mean, it should be fun. This shouldn't be some painful thing. It should be great. And so I've seen a lot of people, look at their marriage, and some I've seen they're great. Yeah. And if I tune my radar to seeing the ones that don't work, I'm going to see a lot of those.
Right, and there's a lot of things that when I work with couples, they're usually farther along into the relationship, and they're finding that there's a lot of things that they've never talked about. And it would have been great to have that conversation at the beginning of the relationship so that we could understand each other more, and so that we could have some agreements in place about how we're going to deal with certain situations. So a lot of times you don't know what these differences are, and you haven't really maybe given some thought to what it is that you want until you run into a problem. And then we have to kind of work it out there.
But while you're totally in love with someone and you see some problem, the last thing you want to do is bring up some issue. But I'm in love with you, and if I tell you about this, then you're going to run for the hills, and it blows up the relationship.
Right. So
I don't think that
fear.
has to happen, but yeah, that's the fear. And one of the things that we're going to demonstrate in this whole process is how to have some of those conversations that seem like they're the scary conversations, and they're really not. I mean, you can have, and we're adults. We have to have those conversations.
Yes, and in fact, marriage is a conversation. It's a series of conversations, one after the next. And when you can have those conversations in a skillful way, and you know what to talk about, then you're going to have a marriage that's going to have, you're going to start to beat those odds that people are operating with today. And don't forget that, every marriage, nobody ever goes into a marriage thinking that it's going to end in divorce. Everyone goes into their marriage, or most people go into a marriage really believing that it's going to work, and really wanting it to. And it's sad to see how many people have not been able to do that. So we wanted to put together a program based on years of experience of working with couples and really engaging the kind of conversations that need to happen in a marriage in order for things to be able to work out and to, to be able for people to have the marriage that they want. Not the marriage that their parents had, but the marriage that's right for them.
Or the ones that's going to be impressive to your friends or something like that. This is an opportunity to create your own blueprint for the marriage that you want to have your way. Design it yourself. And it's so complicated, really. I mean, that's why it's taking software to help put it all together. There's a lot of moving parts. And so we want to help you look at all the moving parts, put this together in a way that works for you, works for each other, have some fun with this, and enjoy the process of getting to know each other, putting together the marriage that you want to have, looking at many different ways you can go about it, and live happily ever after.
So enjoy your journey through Marriage 2.0, and we'll be back to tell you more about it.
Cut. Okay, perfect.
Okay?
I liked that a lot better.
Great, me too.